Shalom. This is Nazama Shalhamada Bar Yasharal on my channel Nazama the Hebrew Mystic Healer. Before I get started with the video, I would like to first show some love to my 3D kin, the 12 tribes of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites scattered to the four corners of this third dimensional earth plane of existence. Much love and shalom to you. I would also like to show some love to my cosmic kin, the Nibiru, the primordial dragons, the Anunnaki star seeds scattered to the 12 dimensions of this universal cosmic egg matrix. Much love and shalom to you. I would also like to show some gratitude and appreciation to my viewers, especially those of you who are subscribed. If you're not yet subscribed, please do so now, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any amazing content. Also, if you like this video, please show me by giving it a like. It does help. Thank you. To cover the topic of soul suckers. What are soul suckers? Where do they come from? What do they do, and how do we get rid of them or prevent them? So soul suckers are black parasitic worms. They can be small, they can be large. They usually tend to be between the sizes of like worms and like the size of pythons. And some of them can be really thick as well. But basically they are a type of parasite that dwells in a dark dimension that does not have a sun. So they're initially drawn to souls because of the immense amount of energy. Now, it's not that they're like supposed to feed off of souls, like that's their designated purpose or anything like that. And they do not possess a very high level of sentience or intelligence. They're basically about as intelligent as a parasite on Earth. So they're not doing this to be, maleficent or to be, cruel. They're just drawn to the energy. They're just trying to exist. So basically what draws them to, souls to begin with is, like I said, the immense amount of energy. How do they get attached? Well, see, this is the tricky part, because people possess chakras along their bodies and nadis, which are essentially vortexes. Now, the vortex that somebody has will depend on the type of soul they have, and will also depend on the dimensional access that they have, how activated they are within their own soul blueprint and multidimensionality. So it varies from person to person. But in a general sense, chakras are vortexes. So if we're not careful, we can actually draw things into ourselves, especially if they match a certain energy frequency that we may be emitting at the time. So these chakras can draw so deep that they actually go into the core of our soul. So with these types of parasites, they're then drawn to the energy and they begin to feed. Now, it may seem like a huge thing or really, scary thing, but really they're very easily removed, just like you remove any type of astral parasite. Because that's basically what they are, because they are from, another dark dimension. So I was not given the name of the realm, but I'm assuming it's some sort of lower astral realm, because the lower astral realms do not have a lot of light. So I digress. Point being, the way that you would remove them is the way that you would remove any parasite. But the only thing is you would have to literally envision yourself opening up your chest and actually looking inside, and then proceeding to remove these things. And you can do a few different things. You can destroy them, or you can actually release them into a portal of light into the reincarnation cycle, just as I describe in a lot of my Patreon tiers, as far as getting rid of different types of spirit attachments. So basically you would use the same process, except you would have to dig a little deeper into the energy bodies to find that core soul point. Now, depending on the type of soul that you have, it would each all look different. I've had a client that had a very bright, soul star and had tiny black worms infested all in there. I've had a client that had a soul that looked like a dark vortex, and that client had 3 very large parasites that just sort of started coming out as soon as I opened up that area. So it will vary from person to person. And the way that the soul appears beneath will vary from person to person. But you'll know when the parasites are removed, because all you will see at that point is whatever that person's soul looks like. So, moving on. Once you remove these parasites, you may then want to do a soul fragment retrieval ritual. And you can use any of the soul fragment retrieval rituals that I have posted on Patreon. And I think I have those in all the tiers, just like I think I have the spirit releasement in all the tiers. The reason I suggest doing this is that once you remove parasites, sometimes there can be some fracturing or some fragmentation. And also, sometimes parasites will move into areas of your soul that has already experienced a lot of fracturing. And fracturing comes into play with trauma. And it doesn't have to just be in this life. It could be from past lives as well. So once I remove these types of parasites, I then go to do a soul fragment retrieval. Unless when I'm doing this with the client expresses to me that they're not ready at the time or they feel too tired. But otherwise, that would generally be when I would do that. Now, so that's what they are. That's how you identify them, and that's how you remove them. Once you've removed them and done the soul fragment retrieval, you want to go ahead and seal that region. You can do it with sealing with light. You can do it doing dragon fire if you possess that sort of ability. There's a lot of different ways you could seal it. I recommend starting with sealing with light, okay? Because our physical bodies and a lot of our energy bodies are light-based, at this level, regardless of the type of soul we are or what our origin is, we all have light bodies down here. So I tend to recommend either sealing with light or dragon fire, depending. Both will work, but light is a universal thing that you can use. Once you've done that, the way to protect yourself is to do regular checks for yourself in your chakras for any type of parasitic entities and in your energy bodies. So if you have any kind of parasites in any of your chakra points, then there is a likelihood that you may have them in your actual soul. So that's when you would then go on to do a full sweep and check that. Now, the way to prevent this from happening in the future is to stay on top of your energy shields and protections, because as I mentioned, we all have chakra vortexes, and these vortexes can draw things in or propel things out depending. So it's important for us to protect our energy, and it's not just from parasites and attachments. It's also from experiencing any kind of draining just from being in draining environments or people taking up our energy or being in very dense energy or lower vibrational frequencies. So it's very important to do this. Now, I want to mention that protections are extremely important. So clove tea also helps cleanse and protect from parasites, both physical and spiritual. Okay. Also, garlic does as well. Cabbage, those are ways you could do it with food. Wormwood, so there's a way you could do it with herbs. Use that safely, please. Make sure that you consult an herbalist or nutritionalist when you're using that. And that can help with spiritual and physical parasites as well. Also, on top of the energy shielding and the energy cleansing and the different types of foods and herbs, you can also use jewelry. Now, parasites generally have a hard time attaching to people that wear obsidian, that wear shungite, that wear tourmaline, that wear hematite. It's very difficult for them to attach because these type of stones actually give off a protective electromagnetic field. So even if you are slacking on your shields, for example, it always gives you this extra layer of protection. So I hope that helps explain what the soul suckers are. where they come from, how we can remove them, and how we can prevent having the attachments to begin with. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and share. Come visit my healing page, facebook.com, The Hebrew Mystic Healer, all one word. The link for my healing page is in the drop-down menu of this video. Full descriptions of services are in the pinned post on my healing page. You can book any service ranging from retro-cosmic akashic record readings, akashic portraits, draconic needle starseed charts, spirit releasement, intuitive guidance, angelic healing, Usui, Reiki, and more by simply clicking on the blue Book Now button. Also, don't forget to check out Patreon. Do not miss out on the techniques and guided meditations for psychic and spiritual protection, ancestral healing, advanced shadow work, activating your light Merkaba, connecting with your soul family, light language activation, recalling past lives, activating major and minor chakra points, and much more. The link for Patreon is in the drop-down menu. Thank you for your support. Stay tuned for the next video.